Manchester United 1, Manchester City 2. I actually predicted 5-0 in the pre-game. So, hey, 2-1 is a little bit better than expected. But there's some harsh truths that I think a few Manchester United fans need to hear. A lot of fans are saying it was okay, we gave it a good go, and we're on the up and up, and just one or two players were going to be back. We're not remotely close to being back. Like, Manchester United being back is winning trebles, winning Champions Leagues, winning the Prem basically every single year. How are we close to that? How are we possibly close to that? I don't think any team's ever going to be possibly close to that unless they do what City did. Now, this is not going to be a video where I whine about City's financial doping, but just to give you an idea of kind of how the game goes, it's kind of like the following. They could have so many injuries and it wouldn't disrupt their style of play at all. They could sub off, let's think about this, Ruben Dias and Rodri and put on Ake and Phillips. They could get rid of Akanji and pop in Phillips, their left back. They could get rid of Haaland and put in World Cup winner Alvarez. They could get rid of Ortega and put in Ederson. They could get rid of Bernardo Silva and put in Foden. They could get rid of Grealish and put in maybe Foden on the left, or want to do Mahrez. They could maybe swap Stones for somebody and not really have any issues. Their entire squad is interchangeable. They have two full clear squads. And when anybody gets a little bit tired, Pep Guardiola's decision has to be, De Bruyne's a bit tired. Should I bring on Mahrez, Foden? Should I secure it up with Phillips? Should I add 2 extra Premier League winning centre-backs? What should I do? Should I put on Foden? Should I do Mahrez? Like, he has options where Ten Hag today, probably within the first 10 or so minutes, thought Eriksen is finished. Freddie's been sloppy with his passes, and so is Bruno. Who do I bring on? Do I bring on Scott McTominay? That's it. We have no strikers, so who do we bring on? Should we put our top scoring left winger up front and try and jank it together? Or should we put on the Burnley reject, Weghorst? Oh, don't be mean to Weghorst. Weghorst tries really hard. Yeah, I'd try really hard if I was up front for Man U. Doesn't mean I'm good enough, does it? Unfortunately. Martial permanently injured and not good enough. So we basically had no strikers. We're also having to do things like, maybe if we put Garnacho on the left, do we put Bruno on right wing and then mess up Bruno's position? There's all these like system changes that end up happening that just completely mess everything up, because we don't have clones in the sense of positional swaps. Like I say, De Bruyne gets out for the entire season. In goes maybe Gundogan plays number 10, or Foden, or hell, maybe even Jack Grealish could play number 10. We lose somebody like Martinez, and our decision goes to, we can't play Harry Maguire because he's that bad. All the other centre-backs aren't available, so I guess it's Lindelof. And we know Lindelof isn't good enough. There's a reason we replaced him with Varane and Martinez in the first place. Whereas the difference with City is the person that they're getting rid of is just about better. So they basically have 2 equal players in each position. And that's what makes it so difficult to catch City, because the way they acquired all of these squads is through financial doping. And if you don't want to hear it, it's not salty Manchester United fan, because I would rather our owners invest a ton of their own money and make 2 super squads. I think if you own a football club, it shouldn't be treated as a business, and it should be treated as a service to the fans, and you should have to invest. So fair play to City for investing. Well, yeah, it's probably illegal, it's probably cheated, but they've gone out there and they've set a goal. We want to topple Man United, we want to win trebles, and we want to dominate England and Europe, and they're doing that. What we're doing is we're hearing rumours of, like, we might want to add Neymar to the team, and then a load of top breads say, don't add Neymar to the team, his wages might disrupt the flow of the group. The flow of what group? The flow of Sancho doing nothing. The flow of having to rely on an 18-year-old kid to bail us out. The flow of, oh, don't sign Kane. Kane's like 30. He could be 33. He might be 34. Don't sign Kane. Why not? You might only get 2 seasons out of him. So, then you sell him. Players are exchangeable. They are employees of the club. And people are treating them like they're not. They're treating them like we need this storyline of, oh, well, Sancho's had a really hard time with his mental health and therefore we should stick by him. Why? He's working a job. He's working a highly privileged job, and unfortunately, if you're not doing your job well enough, you get replaced. That is the industry. Otherwise, you could put me up front for Manchester United, and when everybody says I'm doing bad and then it affects my health or I'm just not having a good time, do you all say, oh, stick with him? No, you don't stick with him because you know he's not good enough. I did a video on my channel a long time ago saying that we needed like a whole new team, and people completely mocked me saying that. They said, oh, don't be ridiculous. You know, it was close. Was it close? This was probably Manchester City's worst game that I've seen them play, I think, in quite a while, and we still couldn't put them away. That's how I think about it. I think that if you look at the team, David De Gea should not play for Man United again. He is so poor. I did a full analysis on Rumble, if you want to check it out, of an entire game of David De Gea and why it doesn't work. And he's still there playing. Every single attack was stopped because he didn't want to build from the back. And when he kicked it, not only did he kick it long, he kicked it to the opposing team. So that's a problem. You've got Luke Shaw, who's solid, but not fantastic at attacking, but he needs help, right? If you asked Akanji or Walker to be the sole winger for Man City, they'd probably struggle as well. They have Silva and Grealish. Who does Luke Shaw have to work with? Fred and Sancho. Awful players. Awful players. So you've got Varane. You know Varane needs a leader from his days at Real Madrid, which is why we got Martinez. But because Martinez is injured, we're back to one half of the Chuckle Brothers with Lindelof and Maguire, and Lindelof is failing again. You've got Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, okay, he's stepped up, he has improved, and I think he could be a solid backup right back because defensively he's very, very good. But then we need the attacking right back. So we signed Dalot on a new deal. Has Dalot been good enough to merit a new deal? No. But what Ten Hag had to do is compromise because he isn't sure how much money he's going to get. And so he decided that the right wing back spot is not a priority because there are other priorities to spend the money, whereas teams like City, they would upgrade every area they can do because they're trying to win. Our owners aren't bothered about winning. That's the problem. So we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing who really shouldn't be. Casemiro's solid, but he's kind of hit and miss. You know, he could do with a bit of backup or just even a little bit of pressure for his spot. You've got Fred, he runs around a lot, but he has no quality. Nobody fears Fred when he's on the ball. Sancho, he's done nothing to merit playing another season for Manchester United. Let's be real. I want you to really think about this. Would Jadon Sancho get in Man City's team? And if the answer is no, why does he play for Manchester United? Because Manchester United are meant to be toppling and fighting City. Christian Eriksen, the guy was dead. He was dead. He had a pacemaker. He was brought back to life. And he's now playing every single game for Manchester United as a number 10. He wasn't even that great at Spurs. He's a lightweight. Whenever the game gets physical and fast, he gets bypassed. Excuse the pun. Fernandes has been shoved out to right wing. I think Fernandes is probably the only player in the team that actually deserves to stay at Man United. And even he has so many wayward passes and just general lax gameplay that you could upgrade him. It's not like Bruno Fernandes is unupgradable, but you'd keep him. Then you've got Rashford as a number 10 playing up front as a number 9. He's not good enough. He did the interviews before the game saying he's ready and now he's learned how to run and move and he's been coached. I don't think you can coach it. You either know how to score goals or you don't. And Rashford is not an elite level number 9. And you might say, oh, but he's got 30 goals. Okay, he's got 30 goals, but he's not on elite level number 9. So if you've decided that that is Marcus Rashford's place up front, he needs replacing. Or he can go on left wing where Sancho is, and then you buy a proper number 9. And then you get to the bench. Weghorst tries very hard. Okay, who cares? He's shit. Get rid. Scott McTominay offers nothing. Get rid. Garnacho should play more minutes. Brilliant player. Keep. Harry Maguire. Get rid. Malacia. Is he really ever going to overtake Shaw as a backup? No. So he's a complete backup. That's okay. Palestri. Maybe he's better on right wing than Bruno, but we've not seen much of him. Jack Butland as a goalkeeper. I mean, the standards of this club have fallen so far. And then Anthony Elanga, who I think has got I think I read somewhere that he's got 5 Premier League goals in his lifetime, and Phil Foden's got 5 Premier League medals. And that's the difference. And that guy that's won 5 Premier Leagues is on the bench for City. Let's take a look at Man City's bench. Ake would start ahead of Lindelof. Laporte would start ahead of Lindelof. Phil Foden would start ahead of Eriksen. Calvin Phillips would start ahead of Fred. Alvarez would start ahead of Rashford. Mahrez would start ahead of right wing Bruno. Ederson would start ahead of De Gea. And then you could argue maybe Palmer and Rico Lewis don't get in the team. But pretty much their bench wallops our starting team. And then their actual starting team wallops it even further. So when I say these videos of, oh, we need a whole new team, to compete in games and to maybe scrap it over the line in a one-off game like this, maybe we could have won. But to compete for titles and leagues across multiple games, it's not good enough. So you can easily replace the whole team. That's genuinely how I see it. You could replace the whole team and I'd feel nothing. If tomorrow it said that Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, David De Gea, Fred, Sancho, Eriksen, Rashford, Weghorst, Scott McTominay, Maguire, Malacia, Dalot, Jack Butland and Elanga were sold, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, all right, cool. They're not good enough. And people are like, oh, it's just silly talk. Well, it's not, is it? Because we've just seen it. A 6 out of 10 performance from City, where their XG was lower than ours, and let's be honest, it was still a comfortable victory. This is probably the first final for me where we've gone into it as complete underdogs, and nobody I spoke to thought we had any chance of winning. So to the people that say we don't need a load of new players, I ask the question, why were we not at least even or favourites going into the game if our team is so brilliant? Why did we finish so many points behind Manchester City? Why are we not winning the Champions League? Why are we not doing the treble? Why is that? It's the players. Last thing to note, do you genuinely think Pep Guardiola today did some insane tactics that helped his team win? And that Ten Hag was masterfully outthought? No, it's just the players. It's just the players. If for some reason the game kicked off and Ortega got injured, boom, he swaps him for Ederson. If Gundogan and De Bruyne got injured, okay, it's time for Phil Foden, and we're going to let's throw Mahrez on there. Oh no, disaster. Ruben Dias has been injured. Okay, Ake, up you come. No, John Stones has been injured. Right, Laporte, up you come. Haaland's gone down. Okay, World Cup winning Alvarez. That's the difference. That's why we're not winning things. It's simple. The team is not good enough. I'm not even going into De Gea, but I will put this out there. If De Gea is the number 1 goalkeeper for Manchester United next season, I will not be watching. I cannot stand the guy. I cannot stand him. Roy Keane doesn't like him. I don't like him. Peter Schmeichel today said that he wasn't even following the game and he shouldn't have let those goals in. He is not good enough. And if you tell me, oh, but he did a really good save, you are not understanding football. You're really not understanding football, and you need to go and learn about the game. You need to go and watch the game and learn about it, because David De Gea's not a good goalkeeper. He doesn't even play for his country. So I'm not even disappointed we lost. I'm just disappointed that we are a club that is happy to lose. Because if we weren't happy to lose, what on earth is this shit show of a team we're putting out? Lindelof, Fred, Sancho, Eriksen, Wan-Bissaka, De Gea, and then Bruno right wing. Is that the best Manchester United can come up with? You can argue it is, because the bench is even worse. Get Ten Hag the players he needs, or he's probably going to walk to a team that will provide him with the team he needs.